A while back, I had shared a video about cursive. Cursive isn't only useful for historical purposes, but if you look at it, it can also be considered an art. I'm going to go ahead and link that video down below in the description box in case you're interested in checking it out. I have a cool resource that I want to share with you that's included in Timberdoodle's 5th grade curriculum kit, and it's called Speeches and Writings in American History by the company CursiveLogic. And it is intended for grades 5th through 12th grade. So that will be roughly 10 years old and up. I mainly wanted to try it out for our 8th grader so that she can be more familiar with the speeches and writings in our American history. But our 4th grader has been really wanting to try it out, so she has gotten into this book as well. Our 6th grader hasn't started using this resource yet, but that is in the plan. Let's jump right in and look inside this book. Check out the table of contents. I am so excited that in this book, you get familiar with some speeches and writings by some great Americans, such as Patrick Henry, Paul Revere, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Abraham Lincoln, Geronimo, Susan B. Anthony, Helen Keller, Eleanor Roosevelt, Marian Anderson, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, John F. Kennedy, and Ronald Reagan. I think the inspiration for this book is really cool. The inspiration was that Frederick Douglass, who never attended school, succeeded in becoming one of the greatest writers and speakers of his day by reading, studying, and even memorizing the great writings of others. That really excites me because just by going through this resource and learning about the writings and speeches of our great Americans is going to help our students become great writers and speakers themselves one day. So the first few pages go over the strokes that are involved in the art of cursive. Page 17 involves checking your habits. And this page is kind of going over the rubric of the 3 Ps. So check your posture, your paper position, and your pencil, the way you're holding your pencil. And that you also want to have a relaxed hand. And you want to use light pressure. Every writing is going to include a check your form section to make sure that your shape, the size, linking, the spacing, and the slant are acceptable. I love how all the speeches and writings include some historical background before the students work on the speech or the famous writings in cursive. Here we're going to learn about Patrick Henry and a little bit about his background. And the students are also going to read the speeches or writings in print before writing them in cursive. So I thought that was really nice. And also, a little added bonus, you're going to see the various signatures of the historical figures. So here's Patrick Henry's signature. Down here on this page, it shows you what your weekly schedule is going to look like. Pretty much you can use this resource 3 days a week. Our 8th grader may have gone through maybe even 2 speeches or writings in one sitting. But typically you want to take day 1 to copy the first writing section, and then day 2, the second writing section, and day 3, the third writing section. So on day 1, you're going to write a third of the speech, and then day 2 you're going to write the second third of the speech, and day 3 you'll write the last third. And also every lesson will begin with a little warm-up, and also you'll be going over some vocabulary that you'll see in the writing. Some of the writing may be more Old English or some vocabulary that your child may not know. So you get a chance to get some vocabulary through this program as well. So here's a little reminder to check your form that I had mentioned before. And then towards the end of the writing, you're going to have another little check yourself rubric that involves the 3 P's, the relaxed hand, and light pressure. Paul Revere, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson. On page 36, there is a review midline connection reminding us about linking the letters correctly. Because sometimes it can be a little confusing as to how to link the letters together in cursive. So this page goes over that in detail. George Washington, Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, Abraham Lincoln. I like this page about Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address because it's actually in Abraham Lincoln's original handwriting. It's pretty neat to see actual cursive that's used from someone from our past. Geronimo, Susan B. Anthony, Helen Keller, Eleanor Roosevelt, Marian Anderson, so the classical singer. These pages that are towards the end of this resource is the flourishes and signatures pages that addresses the style of your cursive handwriting. It reminds us that your signature, or as the term John Hancock has come to be, can leave a bold signature in celebrating your identity to foster creativity and contribute to the rich tapestry of human expression. So your signature can make lasting impressions and inspire others. So I thought that was a nice reminder. And so if we continue, we have Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, John F. Kennedy, and Ronald Reagan. And the vocabulary that we had been seeing throughout this resource can be found on the back leaflet page. And so it's all laid out here, all the vocabulary that we had learned. So that's pretty nice that it's organized here for you. And so that's it. Our 8th grader did have a hard time trying to retain any of the speeches and writings while also trying to copy the cursive. So she wanted to go back and read them over again without having to do the copy work. I guess she was using too many executive functions for her to really be able to retain what she was writing. But she thoroughly enjoyed this resource and pretty much zoomed right through it. One cool thing was that our daughter was noticing how her cursive was improving over the course. And by the end of the program, she had seen that her cursive was actually really beautiful in her eyes. So we want to thank Timberdoodle for sharing this resource with us for an honest review. And usually I try to find all the cons in a program so that I can share with you our real impressions and what we really think about a program. But I couldn't find too much negative to say about this resource. Please share in the comments of any questions or comments that you may have. And also share whether you believe that cursive should still be included and taught in our information age. Thanks so much for tuning in, and make sure to like this video if it was helpful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss out on the next video coming up. Thanks again for your time, and keep on homeschooling.